What up, Ninja Village? It's your boy Scooter Ray and the Cosmic Boss here to talk about the latest video game adaptation. And you should know what this is. We are
Hmm.
talking about the one and only Five Nights at Freddy's. It was just released this Friday on Peacock and the theaters. And Boss and I are here to talk about it. Shout outs to the third ninja, Lady Ironia Mist, who couldn't
Hmm.
be here with us. But in the process of this review, I give y'all her take and what she thought of the said film. All right.
Okay, so she's watched it.
Yeah, she did watch it.
Okay.
So I'm gonna turn it over to our residential FNAF. Yeah, I said it. I said it around you. Our residential FNAF expert, without spoiling, because we will get to spoiler time, without spoiling, let the people know what the movie slash franchise is about.
So, Five Nights at Freddy's. If you've never played the games, if you have not seen the movie, there's more than 20 games at this point, or
Yeah, it's a lot.
a lot of games with expansions. So,
They got everything. They got everything but a fighting game.
right, and in every one of them, pulling the story out of those games, you'd have an easier time finding the story in the Soulsborne. so, like, um, so uh, just to give you a quick summary, what the whole thing is about. It's about a very evil person and some members of his evil ass family. Not all of them are bad. Ran a business. Children disappeared. Those children were murdered, and they're essentially their ghosts take over animatronics
And
and
their business is akin to
Chuck
showbiz,
E. Cheese.
pizza, Chuck E. Cheese, stuff like that.
Essentially, the guy who created it, Scott Cawthon, based it on a real life crime that
Oh,
happened at a
see,
Chuck E. Cheese in the 80s.
did I know
So
this?
yeah, yeah, you can look it up. I forget what year it took place. I think it might have been 87. With the whole bite of 87 that's in the lore of the games.
Yeah.
But yeah, some deaths happened at a Chuck E. Cheese, and basically he invented a story based off that. But yeah, the ghosts of these dead children in the lore of this game inhabit these animatronics. They aren't to give you an idea what they're doing, and they essentially you play as a security guard,
Hmm.
and you're a nighttime security guard, and you're just supposed to watch the monitors and make sure nobody breaks into place, nothing happens. The animatronics come to life and they try to get you. That's essentially the whole basis of the game. They're not trying to kill you, which is a mistake everybody makes. They
Mm.
just see that you're a person, not inside of a suit. And so they go to put you in one. It just so happens that the suit is full of wires and machinery that doing so inadvertently kills you. So
Yeah.
it like if you've never played the games, they still hold up to this day. The first four, amazing. The ones after that, amazing just as much. The most recent is Security Breach. They hold up very well. They are still scary. Uh, but yeah, that is the basic synopsis of the lore of these games.
Now,
Uh,
let's fast forward to the movie, which
mhm.
essentially kind of takes the base of a down on his luck person trying to make it through life, gets an opportunity to work at an abandoned Freddy Fazbear, which is the name of the place, Freddy
Yep.
Fazbear, and little does he know he's in for a time.
Hmm.
When the animatronics wake up and be like, "Hey, fam," so he's in for a time.
Right.
And so essentially, once again, throughout this thing, we will get to spoilers later. But
Hmm.
boss, since you have played the games or played
Yep.
most of them, you've watched the movie. How does the movie do with adopting the source material? Like, how well is the adaptation from game to movie?
It's decent. It ain't perfect.
Okay.
Um, like if you wanted to put it on a scale, in terms of recent video game movie adaptations, or video game TV show adaptations, you probably would say The Last of Us would probably be the most accurate or one of the most accurate
Yeah, that was
adaptations
almost
we
shot for
have.
shot.
Right, right. So, like essentially, they were pulling a story. They were creating a story out of characters that had very minimal story. So, like Mike Schmidt, he's in the games. He's the first security guard in the first game, which is who Josh Hutcherson plays.
Mhm.
I don't remember in the games if he has a sister. Does not matter really.
Did he
Not
have a
saying her
brother?
character doesn't matter in terms of the story. It
Jeremy?
just
Did he
hmm?
have a brother?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Like I don't think he had a family member of any kind.
Okay.
Because like I said, you have to piece the story of the lore of this game together
And
from
don't you got
stuff
to
you have to dig for.
and don't you have to do it across multiple games too?
Multiple games. Like the way you have
Yeah.
to get the story of the first game is as you're going through it, you have to look at pictures and zoom in on stuff on the walls and then listen to what people tell you and then try to fill in the blank. There is no like story that is given to you.
Yeah.
So like later in the game, like Mike Smith is a recurring character, so I know why they chose him for this in case it gets more sequels.
Makes
Because
sense.
he ends up in Sister Location, some of the other ones, I think Pizza Simulator, in some other ones, but essentially the main characters of this game, like there was quite a few main characters from this movie that were
Yeah.
in the games. So there were a couple of YouTubers in this movie that helped make the franchise big. Um, those
Unfortunately, um, oh my God, I just forgot his name just that fast. Thank
Markiplier,
you.
unfortunately,
Unfortunately, he couldn't be a part of it because he had
he
other
couldn't be a
scheduling
part of
conflicts.
it.
But
Mhm.
yeah,
The
but yeah,
two that
like
you saw would probably be the cab driver Corey Kenshin and Matt Pat, the waiter at the diner, who.
ah,
So if you don't know who they are, Corey played the games and scared the shit out of him many times. Matt Pat is the one who breaks down and collected all the stuff for the lore. So if you want to know, because the lore of this game is phenomenal, just go to Game Theory, look up the FNAF playlist. It's all on there. It's long, but they collect it, and it's like it is dark shit. but
yeah.
but yeah, this
Um,
it was a decent little thing. So
all right, so let's fast forward to the movie. So, um, movie adaptation, which surprisingly enough to me, shocking that it took this long for them to make a movie adaptation.
I am with you right there.
Like,
The
cause what the
first
first Five Nights
game
at Freddy came out,
9 years ago,
yeah.
2014.
So surprised that it took this long for them to make an adaptation of the franchise, considering there's about, like Boss said, about 3,700 games and spinoffs and
Right,
everything. So,
right. And I understand
surprising that it took so long.
it's had a troubled development. Like, we gonna give it a little bit of grace. Like,
Yeah,
they wrote the script, they rewrote it, fired a director, got a new director. Like they've been probably making this movie like 4 years now. So
yeah. Now, I
so
will say this. One
uh,
thing I give this movie credit for, no matter what, because if y'all been seeing reviews, they've been getting killed. But the
mhm.
one thing I will praise this movie for, the effects and the graphics of the animatronics are A1 to me.
Shout out to Jim Henson's Creature Shop because that's who made them. They are practical, not
Cool
CG.
boy.
Them, but there's a point in this movie where Mike, Josh Hutcherson's character, sees them moving for the first time when he brings his sister there, and Freddy walks towards him. I have never been more feared of an animatronic, except that moment, because that boy was walking him down. Like,
Yeah, yeah, with the briskness.
like
But
you see
yeah,
genuine
so
fear on that boy's face. Like, is he gonna stop?
all right, so before we get to the meat and potatoes and the spoilers and spilling out everything,
Hmm.
um, overall, what would you give the movie?
I give it a good 7.
I'm with that too. Um,
Like, I give it
I
a
give
good
it a good
7.
7. It could peak to a 7.5, but 7 for sure. Aranya gives it an 8.5,
Okay.
and she said her MVP was the cupcake.
Cupcake. Like, Cupcake is one of the animal, like the one that Chica always carries, was much more threatening in the second game. But
Oh, really? Okay.
because there was a lot of animatronics you had to keep track of in the second game. But
Okay.
like, oh
Um,
man, Cupcake was slaughtering.
I would say the movie's worth watching. Whether you're a video game, whether you know the lore of the video game or not, I would say as
Right,
a movie, it could stand out on its own because the overarching premise of Chuck E. Cheese like animatronics coming to life, potentially trying to kill you, that can work whether it's in a video game setting or not. It just
right,
so happens the lore of this comes from a video game. So this movie can stand on its own, even if it didn't have the name attached to it. Because
right.
once again, animatronics coming to life, trying to run you that fade.
Like everybody has been somewhere where animatronics have looked
Yeah,
janky. Like,
yeah,
it don't even have to be Chuck E. Cheese. We had a
yeah.
place here called Jungle Gym.
Uh-huh.
So if you're not old enough to remember that, be thankful. If you have, if you've been, if you've been
Have
to
to
a
be
theme
thankful.
park, there was some there. Like,
True.
there
Like,
is a
just
there's probably a place
imagine,
in every state.
just imagine for you Disney people who wrote It's a Small World and all them animatronics might come to life and try to get you out that boat, fam.
Right. Like,
Yeah,
oh, if you've been to Disney, think of the old Pirates of the Caribbean. Like,
all of it. All of it.
think
So,
about them old rides before they upgraded them and gave them new looks. Like, just mm,
so I
horrifying.
say watch it. Boss, do you say watch it?
Hmm.
So you got 3 watches from the crew. Now, if you want to stick around after this little intermission, we're gonna get down to some spoilers, some plot points, some moments, and things like that. So we'll be back after this little intermission.
Yes, sir.
All right. So if you're here, you want spoilers and you want things like that. All right. So compare. So once again, we'll be doing movie and game. So
Hmm.
you find out in the movie that Josh Hutcherson's character, which I totally just forgot what you said his name was,
Mike
Schmidt,
Schmidt.
Mike Schmidt. You find out back in the day, Schmidt's brother went missing, never
Hmm.
could find. He had a sister. He's been taking care of his sister, and he got fired from his job for beating the dog shit out of a dude who he thought was kidnapping a kid.
Right. Like,
He beat that dude.
like he was putting them Kratos hands on this man. Like,
Like shockingly, I don't know how the judicial system works in this movie, but I'm surprised that boy wasn't in
when
jail.
they cut to him sitting in that chair, I thought he was in jail.
Because he was beating this man profusely. Because once again, that's when you find out he's triggered by kid napping from his memory.
Mhm.
Then you
Yep.
find out that every night, which by the way, I would want to know or talk to a dream theorist because how this man is able to have the same dream every night, but he says when before his scene of him beating the dog shit out of old buddy, he was talking to another guard and basically said it's a theory called the dream theory, which essentially you remember everything in life. Everything you've experienced, you do remember. You just have to dig deep in your dreams and unlock it. So
Mm-hmm.
his thing is he keeps having these dreams every night because he wants to find out who kidnapped his brother so the guy can finally face justice, because apparently since the kidnapping, things just went a little cattywampus for him, the family, which was even
Mm-hmm.
funny that they even had another kid, by the way. You
Right.
know,
Like unless that child was no, because that child had to be, couldn't have been born yet.
yeah,
Because
no,
Mike's
no.
character was like 9, 10.
Yeah, I
Like
think
no.
12 tops. 12 tops. And he grown. Like they never gave ages, but he grown. Um, but then, he gets fired from the job. Now, this is where I knew something was amiss. So Matthew Lillard pays I forgot
uh
the job title.
Henry Ragland or something like that.
Yeah. But his job title, when he was reading his name and he says, okay, Mike Schmidt, I knew something was up then. I
Mm-hmm.
knew something. I knew something was amiss then, because it's like, why you ain't read his name, fam? Like what's wrong
Right.
with like
Like I caught that and I was like, what the hell is happening with you? Like
at first I looked and I thought that what that man's last name that complicated?
right. Like here's the thing. Having played these games and knowing the lore, because having watched nearly
Yeah.
all of Matt Pat's videos,
Uh-huh.
I know what Mike Schmidt, like who Mike Schmidt is in
Uh-huh.
terms of continuance or who he's alluded to be. And so when he read the name, I was like, okay, that might be something they're trying to set up.
Yes.
But but I did so like
Yes.
but yeah, so like I was like, I'm right there with you. When he couldn't finish that name, I was like, oh, okay, so we going there. I was like,
Yeah,
what
like I said, 'cause
what
at
you
first I
doing?
was like, damn, how complicated is this man's name?
Right.
But so he says, hey, I got a job for you. It's working overnight. He's like, no, I don't do nights. So per unraveling the movie, he doesn't want to do nights because he takes his sleep aid to make him go to sleep and try to remember what happens. So of
Hmm.
course he needs that sleep. So he would rather not work nights. Then you get this other layer of story that I really did not think was needed. You get Mary Stuart Masterson's character who plays their aunt,
Right.
and she's trying to prove that the brother is unfit to raise his sister. Then you find out she only wants her niece so she can get the government checks every morning. I mean every month.
Right.
And it's
I'm
like,
with you there. That whole little
and it
story
was
was
like,
not needed. Like
and then in words of one of the greatest artists of our time, Drake, check the weather because it's getting oppy outside. You find out that the babysitter Mike has been using to take care of his sister
is an
with
undercover
Abby.
op. Is an
She's working
undercover
with the
op.
other. Check the weather because it's getting oppy outside. So, so the babysitter is like, I have ransacked his whole place. There is nothing there to prove he's unfit.
Hmm.
So the babysitter's brother was like, well, hey, don't he got a new job and he can't let people in the building or whatever? Well, how about we just go trash the place and then boom, he can get fired. So before then, Mike does take the job. He works his first night and, he's just kind of there. Place is old. He's like, what the hell is going on? Now, this is where black instincts kick in for me.
Hmm.
Night one of my job, I show up and realize this is the place I'm watching. Hey, I don't think I need the job this bad, my boy. Like how much they said they was paying?
Right. Oh, no.
Because
Let's put it in perspective. Because in the games, you see how much they get.
how much?
In the first game, I think by the end of the 5th night, Mike gets a check and is fired. And it's for like $125.
Whoa. Wait. Time out. Hold on.
Uh-huh.
Time out.
Like let me just
Wait,
Google. Hold on.
boss. You see this? You see this? You see this right here? Flag on the play. Flag on the play. Did you just say for 5 nights, $125?
Yes. Like, hold on. I'm just confirming. But yeah.
Mm-mm.
So
Flag on the play.
Mike Schmidt to work at Freddy Fazbear Pizza at the end of his first week, he was paid $120 after finishing night 5 from
Flag on the
working
play.
12 midnight to 6 a.m.
Flag on the play. 100.
So for 30 hours.
He only got $125. Flag on the play.
No, yeah, for 30 hours. He got
Flag on the play.
$120.
Flag on the play. See,
Jeremy
that's very
Five
different.
Nights 2 got paid a lot less for the same time. So
No, see, that's very different from the other memes that says, "Hey, would you work at a graveyard overnight for 200 hours?" And that was like $80 an hour, and they were showing
$80
the
an hour.
video of Michael Jackson dancing with the yeah,
Right. Like that's money. That is money.
yeah. But so night 1, he cuts the lights on, starts to see everything, and boom, boom, boom. Then we introduce to the lady cop, which I just forgot her name. That's that fast. Veronica.
Vanessa.
Vanessa. We introduced to Vanessa, which that was red flag number 2. Why the fuck she just randomly shows up? So she just shows up and she's like, "Hey, you need to take care of this place." And she kind of gave him a little bit of lore saying that the owner didn't want to close it down, blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
And, so per his tiredness from his lucid dreaming, which a new level was unlocked in his dream, that there was extra children in his dream. No.
Like remembering these children, there was 5 because there's 5 missing children. There's Gabriel. Hold on, let me see because I wrote it down who they represent to. Yeah, Gabriel was Freddy, who was the little blonde kid who was the main one that spoke.
Yeah.
Jeremy was Bonnie, the big purple rabbit. There was Susie for Chica, Fritz for Foxy, and the one they remember, the most dangerous child, was Cassidy. Now, because he represented Golden Freddy, which now if you didn't play the games, just to make a little connection, Golden Freddy rarely made an appearance, but he was the most dangerous animatronic because he could appear instantly in your room if you weren't careful. And the only use you had for him were sound effects. If you heard a laugh, it was over.
You can't have an animatronic who could pull some instant transmission.
Oh yeah, like he was dangerous, but yeah, those were the 5 kids, and they started appearing in his dreams. After that, if it happened to me, and I ain't trying to sleep no more, really.
So to jump ahead in the movie, he tells Vanessa all this thing about the dreams and stuff. He's been having these dreams seemingly every night since his brother Garrett was kidnapped.
Right.
So let's just say for shits and giggles, 15 years. Let's just say 15 years he's been having these dreams. And all of a sudden, magical children shows up in these dreams. I'm not having these dreams no more. I'm done with the dreams. Right. The dreams are done. They're done. But completely so one of the children who was represented by Foxy hooks his hand. He's bleeding. That's when he meets the cop and everything. Boom, boom, boom. Then, per his sleepiness, he forgets to fully lock up the building. That's when the ops, the babysitter, her brother, and a few of his friends decide that they was going to bust into the place and start breaking shit. Well, the animatronics didn't like that too much. They wasn't fake. And what the other one Cupcake got? What's the first one?
Yeah, the Benny of the group, the one that was in the
Yeah,
kitchen. Like,
yeah. So Chica comes with the cupcake, and the cupcake is like, "Nah,
no, no, no.
fam."
Let's set this up
Okay, go
because
ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
that's when I text you I'm Baron Von Note. Like,
Oh, okay, okay.
because he's
Because I
in
was
there
wondering what
fucking shit
scene
up
you
with
was
the
on.
pots and pans, and all of a sudden, boom, 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 boom. He turns around, the refrigerator is jumping, essentially. This
Yeah.
thing is shaking hard. And he stares at it. It does it a few more times.
Now,
Right
also
there.
too, let's add this layer element too.
Mm-mm.
These are the most soft-footed animatronics.
Except for
When they
Foxy.
come, yeah, true,
Except for
true.
Foxy.
Because
The
Foxy's
rest
so
of them,
glitchy.
though, can creep up on Solid Snake.
Yeah. Now, if you're not familiar with Metal Gear Solid, he is right. The rest of them can creep up on Solid Snake. But yeah, so Chica comes with the cupcake and was like, "Hey, here's my little cupcake," and the cupcake is like, "Ooh, lunch."
Right. Let's also mention the fact he opened the fridge one side. This is a double door fridge. He just opened one side, nothing. Opened the second one, cupcakes in the fridge. Opens his eyes and looks at him. He hears a sound, turns back around, cupcake gone, turns back around to where he just looked. There's Chica holding cupcake. So these motherfuckers are moving quick.
And the next thing you know, cupcake munching on face.
Chews his whole face, fam. His like when we see his body, it's gone.
Yeah, face just face is just gone. Cupcake had a meal. Then, um, old buddy, who the older gentleman of the group, he gets spooked out.
Because he sees Chica and
The
he sees
scream
his
he
friend
was
getting
screaming.
fucked up by Cupcake, and he sees Chica standing there. Chica slowly looks at him and squints her eyes, and he says, "Deuce." So,
Now, if you never watched some of our gameplay, the scream he let out was akin to the scream Boss
oh,
let out when he was playing Security Breach. And then the ops brother, he's looking at the cameras like, "What's going on? Like, what?
right,
Like,
because
what
he
are you doing?"
like why is he running? What's he running? Because he don't see nothing yet. And this dude is high pitched screaming, barreling through the whole place until he gets to this one room, and he goes in there, which is basically a broom closet.
Yeah,
And that's when the
yeah.
brother comes out and just like, I forget old buddy's name, but he's like, "Hey, Brian something," and he's
Mm.
like, "Brian is in there with Bonnie because Bonnie was in there waiting, and Bonnie just phone booths him."
And next thing you
Just
know, he just hitting the glass and blood everywhere. And then Bonnie comes out the room like, "What?
what's up?
What's up? You looking for me? Like literally, you looking for me?"
And at
And
that
then the
point,
brother was like,
runs.
"Now," and then finally, the brother's like, "Nope."
He runs to the security room, bolts the door, and starts looking at the security footage. Looks at one camera, nothing. Others, nothing. Looks back at that one. Bonnie and Chica are right there looking
And
at the
then
camera.
Chica left the cupcake loose in the vent, and he like, "Oh no, oh no, no, no." He was like, "Oh no, 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 no."
That boy puts his back against the grate like Hodor holding the door. That boy,
Exactly. He held that grate down. The next thing you know, the cupcake stopped and was like, "All right, you win this one." Then
right.
the brother tried, and then the next thing you know,
The door slams open and
it,
nothing comes in, but he decides to go out.
and then the door slams behind him and lock.
Right.
And it was like, "Oh well, oh well."
And then
And
he
then here
gets to
come
the exit
Glitchy,
door, but it's locked. And that's when Foxy shows up.
and here
And
come Glitchy,
every
and
time Foxy
Foxy,
showed up was singing a song, and you
yes.
could hear his feet, his footsteps. He was
And like I said, it don't help that Foxy got that hook. And next thing you know, It didn't
It was
anyway.
over for him. But
Then
the
the
girl
op
got the worst part.
and then the op sister, she's wondering what's taking them so long. She goes in looking around. The next thing you know, this was her dumbass mistake. She sees what you said the boy's name was, Gregory, Greg, whoever. She sees
Gabriel.
Gabriel. She sees the ghost boy run, and she's like, okay, I'm gonna
Right.
follow him.
Right. He said,
Now,
come follow me. Let's play. Bitch.
now, the funny part about this is this place is abandoned.
Yes,
Inside one of
abandoned.
these places, on the inside, it looked okay, but the outside was run down as fuck. So there should
Oh,
be
it
no
was dusty
reason.
and moldy inside too. Let's not act like it
True,
was clean.
true, true, you're true. So there should be no reason a child should be in this motherfucker.
None.
She sees the child and was like, well, fuck it, I'm gonna follow. The next thing you know, she goes into the storage room and it's just Freddy. Freddy just standing there
Freddy,
like,
like Freddy is held up on these chains, like for repairs, and the child is like, "Come here," and it's coming from from Freddy who is hanging up, and she's like, "No,
then
okay,
the
leave,"
helper, the helper decides to grab a chair, stand on it,
and
lean,
look into the mouth to try to see what's saying hello and come here.
and the
Next
next
thing
thing you
you
know,
know,
Gabriel snatches her. Then you see the shadow of half of her body on the inside, and then
just the rest dropped like just bit in half, like.
then we cut back. Vanessa's telling Mike, hey, the place got trashed. You should have locked up. Da 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 da. So he goes back. He cleans it up. You know, he tries to redeem, but he has to take his sister because his babysitter is unknowingly dead. So the sister's in the room sleep. He cleans up the whole place, and then she told him stop going to sleep on the job. What motherfucker do? Go back to having his lucid dreaming and tries to talk to one of the kids, and the kids are like, Deuce. Then he catches one of them, and it's like, what do you want, fam? Like, what do you want? And the
Right.
kid's like, look, if you want information, you got to give us something in return. Peace.
I'd have been
Then,
like, look, I got this Snickers. That's all I got, fam.
what Boss was alluding to, he wakes up, sister gone. He goes into the main room. She in there having her a good. He hears screaming.
Right.
The animatronics are around her. They were tickling her, but we didn't know that. Next thing
Right.
you know,
It sounded like murder screams. Like
it is. So next thing you know, they all look back at him and like what Boss said, Freddy starts marching towards him and he picks up a chair like, this a
and he
dude.
starts backing away, and Fred is like, that ain't gonna do nothing to me, fam. His eyes get real red and smoke. Like, man. And
And
then
then, and then, and then his sister Abby was like, no, 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 no. That's my
we're
bro.
playing.
That's my bro. We playing. We good. And
And
then Freddy
Freddie
was
and
like,
Freddie hears that and looks at him and squints.
like
like, right.
literally, Freddie's notion was, you better be lucky she vouched for you, playboy.
Right, because this is the wrong hood to be in, pimp.
Because you was about to be finished. Then then Vanessa, wait, was that the same night when Vanessa showed up or was that the next night?
No, that was the next one. That was the next one. No,
So the
because
next
she had
night,
showed up prior, but she showed up the next one and informed him oh, so you knew about this? Oh yeah, I knew.
yes. So the next night he shows up with the sister and everything, and then the animatronics was like, we got to build a fort. And she's like, well, let's build a fort. And then that's when, you know, they had the conversation that she knew the animatronics were alive and this, that, and the third. Now, she basically tells him, and he basically deduces that these animatronics are possessed by ghost children, and he's just okay with this.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't grab his sister. We got to get the fuck out of here. He was just like, okay, cool. And it was like, sir, you just found out that ghost children are taking over the animatronics, and you just like, hey, I need their help though. No. Mission done. Now, the other thing, the reason why the mission would have been done, because after that night was over with, they built the fort, had their little fun. The sister accidentally gets hurt because she touches Foxy's guitar and it sparked and everything. So when they was leaving, the sister straight up tells him, if you bring her back here, I will shoot you. And I was like, damn.
Right. Yeah, Vanessa tells him, like, if you bring your sister back here, I will shoot you. Because he's asking what's going on with these children. He's like, don't come back here no more.
He's like, if you bring her back here, I will shoot you. And it was like, oh shit, damn. So he seemingly makes a deal with the aunt because he's really determined of who took his brother Gary.
Right.
And so the sister, so upon that, he makes a deal saying they can have the sister as long as he gets.
No, remember, like, he didn't say that. He's like, you just gonna watch her. And remember, she said when he was leaving, we gonna have a longer conversation about this whole thing. And so he was like, yeah, you go watch her for the night while I go do this.
Yes.
Sister walks in, sees her there, and was like, I hate you.
Yes.
And then starts coloring out his face and then runs away. Well, no, not runs away. She locks herself in her room.
Then he has a dream, and they tell him in the dream. Now, once again, reason why my brain would have worked differently. This time in the dream, everything is paused. His mom, his brother, his dad are all sitting at the picnic table, and they was like, look, you can have your life of bliss and everything. All you got to do is just give us what we want. And he was like, what you want? We want Abby. We want Abby to join us. And he said, this motherfucker say, yeah.
Right.
Goes, no. I mean, no.
Right. Yeah. It takes him a little, like 5 seconds to come around and say, no. I don't want this. I don't want this. Meanwhile, they are already on the march.
So Freddy shows up to the house, murks the aunt. So Freddy and Abby gets into a cab, who boss said earlier was drove by Corey Kenshin, and was like, I get the weirdos. They dropped her off back at the total song. At this point, Mike doesn't know.
Let's talk about when she got in the cab and he was like, where to, little lady? And all of a sudden, before she says anything, boom, this car dips what looked like 7 feet.
Yeah, that car went.
What the? Meanwhile, this giant ass animatronic turns and looks at him with a mangled face. You can have a car.
Then they get dropped off back at Fazbear. So now Mike doesn't know that his sister is now there. So now the animatronics is like, hey, we trying to stuff her in a suit. Like boss say, we trying to put her in a suit. And Abby is like, hey, whoa, whoa. Yep. Can't agree to this, my boy. So there's a conversation between Vanessa and Mike. Vanessa starts telling him that, hey, electricity is the way to stop them. It doesn't fully defeat them. It'll kind of give you a little chance. So she gives them tasers and stun and cattle prods and things like that. So now we kind of get to the ultimate showdown in a sense, because now the realization that they want his sister. Now he realizes his sister is there. So now he's zapping, gets his sister.
Well, let's also talk about the revelation.
Okay, I'm gonna say the revelation of another character in drawings
is that the kids are being controlled, and it's like by who? And he was like, "Tell me his name," and she tells him, William Afton, and he's my dad, and so on and so forth. It's like essentially you find out through that she's been covering up a lot of bad shit.
Now he even gives the look like, wait, is this the man who killed my brother? And she kind of like snubbed. She would have got snubbed. She would have
Right.
got snuffed.
Let's also show showed him the picture of William Afton in the Yellow Rabbit suit, which was a character they had been showing throughout
Yeah,
this movie.
they've been showing him in
And
drawing.
picture with her, and she had this plane. But in the dreams, his brother was flying that same
Yes.
plane. So it's like, did you
So,
know?
so
She's like, and she tells him, I did not know he had your brother.
snuff.
So
I would have
not
snuffed
until
her
you
anyway.
told me. So
I would have snuffed her anyway. She snuffed her anyway. Snuff. So next thing you know, he kind of dispatches the other animatronics. The next thing you know, we see the yellow rabbit show up.
mm-hmm.
And then he hits the taser on the yellow rabbit. It ain't doing nothing. So you like, oh shit. Then the
Right.
yellow
The
rabbit
rabbit
starts,
laughs and then headbutts him.
and then the rabbit starts to talk like, come on, fam. You think this little foolish thing's gonna work on me? Like,
Right.
do you know who I am? The next thing you know, he takes off the helmet, and who's the yellow rabbit? Motherfucking Matthew Lillard.
Matthew Lillard, who was Steve Raglan, the dude who helped him get jobs.
So, like we was alluding to earlier, the reason why he didn't say his last name because Raglan knew Schmidt was the one he kidnapped Wade Garrett Schmidt. So he realized, oh, now I was
Right.
talking to Mrs. Ladybug about that part, right?
Mm-hmm.
Schmidt is a common last name.
Mm-hmm.
I could see if they had a more obscure last name, but Schmidt is pretty common. So for him to be like, oh shit, this is his brother, that's a little kind of stretching.
Right.
But
A
we're
little
here.
bit, yeah.
We're here. So Vanessa shows up and he's like, all you had to do was just keep him away. If he was getting too close, you're fucking it up for us. You're fucking it up. And he was like, come on, Dad, we got to stop this. Like, this ain't the way we. And it leads to a scuffle. The yellow rabbit stabs, Afton stabs his daughter in the gut. Vanessa's out the movie for the rest of the movie. The next
Right.
thing you know, the animatronics are now being controlled by Afton going after them. And boy, does Mike get his ass whooped.
Woo!
The cupcake was munching on his leg.
Look,
Foxy gave him
boy, he got that boot to the dome and
yeah,
he was out.
yeah. Mike
And
was
then
getting stomped.
the sister, I forget who gave her the idea about the picture.
Mike
And
did.
so,
Mike had
he
told her,
loved
hey,
it, like
show her the real. So
show them the truth of what happened. And she drew what happened and basically replaced the picture that was on the kids' drawing wall in this
yeah,
place. And the kids in the animatronics realized what happened because they had forgot. So they go then to to they surround Afton in the yellow rabbit suit, who then I think who took a bite out of him. Was it Cupcake that bit him?
the cupcake.
Yeah, Cupcake bit him on the abdomen, like right here on the left abdomen, left lower side of the stomach.
Mm-hmm.
And that caused the spring locks in the suit to activate.
Which
It
that's
just
what
started.
Vanessa had told Mike earlier in the movie that hey, a lot of these old things they kind of just spring trap, they kind of just
Right. A lot of the
you
older
know,
suits were meant for to have people in them, and
yeah.
they were to prevent the machinery from getting to the people, but they would snap and
So now,
the lock started hitting in his ribs and digging into his meat. Boy.
and all they did was just drag him away.
Right.
Just
And
drag
so
him away. And then, they kind of show that Vanessa was still in the hospital recovering. Abby's behavior kind of turns around. She's not so much a loner no more. We don't know what Mike is doing for work, but obviously they still surviving.
right.
But
In terms of scenes, like when he gets got, he is like William Afton's like, I'll come back. I'll always come back. And there's a credit scene
yes,
where they show him in the back room where the spring locks are still fucking him up and digging
Yeah.
into him, and he's in his death throes. And one of the kids in Gabriel, the kid of Freddy, is just looking at him and then just shuts the door on him.
And was like, "This is where you're gonna be at forever, deuce."
And at the end of the credits, there's a message: "Come find me."
Come find
So
me. Yes.
now that gets into the lore of the games, which
Go ahead and explain it to him, because I
so
don't know.
so Mike comes back. Mike Schmidt comes back later in the games, and he tells William Afton, because William Afton at this point is back, resurrected, and murdering again. He's like, "I'm gonna find you. I'm gonna come find you." So that's what that alludes to. The other connections in this is the animatronic that the broomstick snapped on, and the one that they tried to put his little sister in. That occurred to Elizabeth. Yes, Elizabeth. They tried to put her in the animatronic fist. They tried to put her in the Circus Baby, which is the
Mhm.
main animatronic in the sister location game.
Okay.
So
Okay.
now Vanessa, William Afton's daughter, comes back. Now they never fully confirmed that she was Afton's child in the game. She was always, when you found the information on her, was Vanessa A. And it was like, okay, who else's last name starts with an A in this whole lore?
Yeah.
Afton. But she shows up later. You saw her in Security Breach. She was the security guard chasing the Gregory, the little boy in there.
Yeah.
Where she was also the Vanny Rabbit chasing the little
Uh-huh.
boy in there. At that point, Afton had already came back. She had been brainwashed, and she had killed herself 9 children at that point in that whole complex. So there's a few people that that come back. So Afton comes back in that same suit, barely hanging on to life in the third game as Springtrap. He's the only animatronic in the third game. There's only one.
Oh, really?
So, yep,
Huh.
in the third game, it's just him.
Okay.
And so, and he is terrifying. Looks the exact same, except he's a little more moldy in that game. So, because he had been lost for a long time. But yeah, there's like a lot of different little connections in here that alludes to what they could do with a sequel. Which, if they do one, they'll most likely go to sister location.
Yeah.
Uh, and if they get another one after that, then they'll probably go the Security Breach route or Pizza
Okay.
Simulator route. But yeah, there's a lot of little connections in here if you're up on the lore. But even if that, it's just a dope little story. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, there's a lot of foreshadowing to future events, and yeah, man, Springtrap. uh it was a decent, fun little movie. Like, it
Yeah.
ain't the
It's a good
it
seven
ain't
and
the
a half.
shit
Seven
show
and
that
a half.
everybody, like a lot of the critics are saying it is. So,
The thing
um,
is, so let's get into that. Like some of the criticism of critics. The thing is that if we're really putting it in perspective, this isn't a this movie isn't a strong story like trying to do a Super Mario Brothers or trying to do a Mortal Kombat or a
right,
Last of Us. This was a literally very simplistic story, like Boss said earlier, that you had to piece together yourself. So for something that you had to piece together the story to, the
hmm
adaptation wasn't bad.
right. It was like it wasn't bad at all. Like,
Yeah,
they could do a lot. They could do much more with a sequel. Now, did I have some gripes with this? Yes.
yeah,
I wish they
I
would have got
absolutely
some
did.
of the animatronic voices in there. I wish they would have had the phone guy in there. I wish they would have did the whole purple guy backstory. Um, I wish they would have left out that whole custody with the aunt thing.
Yeah, yeah, that was all a little just like
Right. Like, I,
the
I
whole
wish they would have, like,
the
if
whole
I
him.
would have structured the story differently, he'd have got the job. He would have did it from 12 to 6 a.m. and he would have just gradually started realizing the animatronics are alive. And then,
Yes,
like, by, like, it's so and like by the fourth or fifth night, it would have just been all hell, and then things would have just went crazy. But for what they
Yes,
did, it
I
is
would have,
decent.
I agree. 'Cause I would have simplified it more as far as not the whole him trying to figure out who kidnapped his brother. It was really just been more of a down on his luck dude who's been fired from job after job after job.
Mm-hmm.
This is essentially all he has left. And then boom, upon working at this place, he does, like you said, he finds out, something ain't right.
Right.
And then boom, we get stuff. But yeah, and like Boss said, upon him discovering things, he uncovers more and more to where it's like, oh shit, you
Right.
know.
Like I would have wrote it like he gets the job, he just walks around the place at night, looks at the security monitors, sees that there is a animatronic missing, finds it in one room, and he starts seeing stuff on the walls that talks about the history of the place. Like, and then he
Hmm.
starts researching, and he finds all the disturbing shit. Finds the secret room where the kids went missing, and where essentially they were killed. And so
Hmm.
on, and it just escalates further and further each night he goes back. That's how I
Yeah.
would have did it. But it ain't a bad adaptation of what they did. So I recommend everybody watch it. You
Yeah,
know?
like I said, whether you're a fan of the game or whether you're going into it not knowing what it is, still the idea of animatronics coming to life trying to kill you or killing people, period, holds up by itself.
Right.
But like I said, Boss and I, we give it a smooth 7. Aranya said she give it an 8.5. Aranya said her MVP was Cupcake. My MVP probably would be Cupcake too.
I would agree with that, Cupcake, because Cupcake
Cupcake and
set it
Freddie,
off.
because like you said, because Freddie was ready to run that fade.
Right,
You know?
right. Like Cupcake set it off most of the time. Foxy would have been a close second.
Yeah.
Like, so like there was like, man. Yeah,
There
Cupcake
you
the
go.
MVP in this movie.
Boss, anything else you want to say about it before we slide on out of here?
Yeah, go watch it because I would love to see a sequel on it just so they can get more money to do better.
Yeah.
Uh, like don't know what, like if they've suffered any kind of things other than the development hell. If the sequel is greenlit, it's at
Hmm.
Bloomhouse. They make the bit, like on average, the best modern horror aside from A24. And so yeah, go check it out, judge it for yourself. Don't listen to all the bad critics out there.
Yeah, because
uh
I think when I watched it last night, I think Peacock already had it Rotten Tomatoes sitting at a 27%. I was like, damn.
right, and I think the was it the consumer score was like at 89, 87 or
Yeah.
something.
Something like that.
So
Yeah.
yeah, go check it out for yourself.
Yeah. But yeah, Five Nights at Freddy's. There you go. Ninja approved, Ninja stamp. Check it out.
I would say
Theaters,
this: it
Peacock.
is, of the two animatronic based horror movies that we've gotten in the past 20 years, between this and was it Willy's Wonderland with Nicolas Cage,
Yeah. Yeah.
this is the better one.
Well,
So,
do you count that Banana Splits movie?
oh, that one. It ain't better than that one. That's the best one of the three. That's that's
Okay.
that's that's the best one of the three.
Okay. There you go,
I forgot
everybody.
about that one.
Uh, until next time, stay out of abandoned pizza places and children places because you never know what's lurking.
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
And if you
If
get
something's shut down, it's shut down for a reason.
exactly, so don't go there. I'm Scooter Ray, Cosmic Boss. Shout out to Run Your Miss. Thank you, Ninja Village, for checking it out. Like, subscribe, share, comment. Let us know what you thought about Five Nights at Freddy's, whether it's the movie or the games. Let us know what you think. Um, of course, when you subscribe, make sure you tag that notification bell for more CCRs, and eventually we'll get back to doing ninja banters and things like that. Check us out on the Twitch side of things, twitch.tv/LessThanStealthyNinjas, all big one glorious word, where Boss
Mhm.
has been currently playing Spider-Man 2.
And I am almost through with it. So
There you go. And so now it'll be kind of more of a what's next for Boss after Spider-Man 2. But thank you for tuning in. And until next time, we just trying to make our Ninja Village proud. Peace.